The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There was a conference in Europe of many of the great Gedolim and the Rabbanim of that time. This conference took place over a few days. It was attended by many people and many Rabbanim, and there was a committee like a Moetzes of Gedolim and Rabbanim, deciding the hot topics and issues of the times. However, after a lot of talking and debating, some of the people in the group realized they're not going to accomplish anything. There's just too many people, too many ideas, too many opinions, and we'll never get anything resolved. Therefore, the heads of the committee decided to break up this group of Rabbanim into a subcommittee called an executive committee. And they were going to choose that the highest level Rabbanim and Gedolei Hadar and Rosh Yeshivas will only be part of this executive committee. And everybody else is not going to be a part of it. It's going to be by invitation only. And those who know, and those who don't, won't know. And they will group together. It will be a smaller group, and they'll be able to make concrete decisions based on the few elite Rosh Yeshivas and Gedolei Hadar. At the end of the conference, all of the Rosh Yeshivas and Moetzes and Rabbanim were together in the room. And at the conclusion, the one who was residing says, everyone may leave, except the ones who were invited to stay. Now, those who knew they were invited should have stayed, and everybody else should have gotten up. However, no one moved. No one. Even the people who knew they never got an invitation to stay on this executive committee didn't rise. It was obvious why they didn't rise. They were embarrassed. I'm going to admit that I'm not invited to this executive meeting? Why me? I'm going to let everybody know that I'm not holding on such a level to be invited to such a high-level meeting? No one stirred. Rabbi Elchonon Wasserman, Hashem Yimkam Domov, was one of the Rosh Yeshivas at this conference. He was here at this meeting. And yes, he was one of the Gedolei Hadar who was invited to stay as part of the executive group. And he also realized at this moment how many people were being embarrassed and humiliated by the fact that they were being asked to leave. But they didn't want to get up and show that they're not really at the same level as the other people, as the other Rabbanim and Rosh Yeshivas. Subsequently, Rabbi Elchonon himself got up and he left the room. And everybody else who wasn't invited followed and said, if Rabbi Elchonon wasn't invited, then who was invited? He was the recognized Gadol Hadar. Rabbi Elchonon realized, can't embarrass anybody. He had such a keen sensitivity. And of course, he came back a little bit later because he had a job to do. He had a responsibility. But his first and foremost responsibility was, don't embarrass anybody. That's a gadol.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org